Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here for the 10th race of the MSFC here at the track of the Starry Sky, Celestial Crossroads.
But once again, it's time for me to hand it over to our guest commentator today.
Welcome, one and all, to Celestial Crossroads. I am your host, Skylight, and I will be taking you through our track today. Starting off with our host, Marble Blink, getting some standard run through turns 1 and 2. Going into the first speed boost of 2 you'll see today into the long straightaway. A decent enter into sector 2 chicane. Looking a little bit slow as Blink comes through. We'll see how that fares with the rest of the competitors going into the second straightaway and entering the second speed boost with a 28.32 time, finishing off sector 2. Finally reaching the wavy banks, the final part of our track. And then finally ending it off with a 41-second time into the long U-turn. A solid time, we'll see how that fares with the 46.04. Our second marble for today is Klaus FOMO, entering the conveyor belt. We'll see how they do. A bit of a rough start with the conveyor belt, not a very good jump, but we'll see. Decent through the first 2 turns. Coming into the first speed boost, we'll see. Plus 1.4 seconds over Blink already. Not looking that quick going into the chicane, but maybe they can cover some time here. Looking not too bad. It seems pretty on pace with what Blink had. Coming into the second long straightaway. Ooh, that is a rough bounce. That ruined all of their momentum going into the final U-turn and into the wavy banks. Plus 6.8 seconds already through the first 2 sectors over Blink. This is looking like a pretty bad time for FOMO. Finally ending off with a 49-second time into the long U-turn. That will be a 53.11 and 7 seconds over Blink. Next up, we have Pantheon Icon. Marble, who has been very impressive in the MSFL. We will see how they do today. A little bit of a small rivalry with Blink, so maybe they can prove themselves on this track today. A little bit of a rough bounce, but it should not be anything too detrimental. Plus 0.87 in the first sector. Decent speed going into the chicane. Very good speed, actually. It's an okay bounce. Just like the rest of the competitors, this will probably be the section where the marbles will see most of their speed lost and where potentially multiple overtakes will happen. Plus 2.4 seconds going into the final section. Going through the wavy banks, decent bounces, nothing too crazy. 44-second time going into the long U-turn. This will be a longer than Blink's time, 3.63 seconds with a 49.66 end. Provisional second, but we still have many marbles to go. Next up, representing the Moon Melodies, we have Glaive. This team has been very impressive so far in the MSFC. We will see if Glaive can bring on that momentum today. Going through the first 2 turns, very impressive actually. Probably the best we've seen out of anyone today so far. Plus 0.2, a little bit worse than Blink. A rough bounce, but good recovery. Going into the chicane of Sector 2, pretty good speed we'll see here. Some decent bounces, nothing too crazy. A little bit of rough speed going into the second straightaway. We'll see Glaive taking the left. Plus 2 seconds going into the final sector. Very good speed though, and very good bounces coming in. Ending off sector 3 with a 41-second time. We'll see how that ends. 0.68 seconds over Blink. Provisional first for now. Very impressive time. Next up, we have Icy Hots, represented by Nova today. Icy Hots have been another great team in the MSFC. Them and Moon Melodies have really shocked the MSFL world with their performances. We'll see if Nova can bring on that momentum today. Plus 0.4 seconds in Sector 1, nothing too bad. A little bit of rough bounce coming into the second chicane. Bit of a rough bounce there, losing some speed going into the second straightaway. A clean line though, going into the second speed boost. Plus 2 seconds, plus 0.6 seconds going into Sector 3, the wavy banks. Nothing too crazy, but ending off going into the U-turn with a 43-second time. This will likely be slower than Blink. Plus 2 seconds over Glaive and takes third over Icon. Next up, we have for the Wyvern Rumbles represented by Zix. A marble who has been playing the MSFL for 3 seasons now, going into their 4th season, actually having been traded from the Wyvern Rumble, previously the Physics Fanatics, to the Pantheon. Plus 0.2 seconds in Sector 1, going through Sector 2. Pretty decent speed, I'd say. This is looking like a pretty good time so far. A little bit of a rough bounce there. Going in, deciding to take the right instead of the left. We'll see how that fares. Plus 0.5 seconds, a pretty respectable time. Decent speed going into the wavy banks. Some good bounces here. Ooh, but lost their speed there. This is looking like a 44-second time going to the long U-turn. This will probably be 4th place. Next up, representing Team Fire is Electra. This marble has been one that was started in Season 2, then got traded from the Pantheon to Team Fire, and in Season 3, they had some pretty good results in the speed events. We'll see how they do today. A little bit of a rough bounce going through Section 1. Good recovery, a little bit of a hit, but nothing too crazy. Pretty decent speed coming into Section 2. We'll see how they can navigate these bounces, and that looks like a pretty good run killer. The speed by Electra is pretty slow going into the second straightaway. Deciding to take the right, plus 1.79 seconds. It seems that taking the left may possibly be better in the second straightaway due to setting up for a better racing line going into the second speed boost. Pretty rough bounces in Section 3, looking like a 49-second time. A little bit slower than Icon, taking 6 for now. Next up for Night Raid, representing Night Raid is Magnum. This marble had a very impressive Season 3. Going in through Section 1, some pretty good turns. Nothing too crazy. Through the first speed boost, plus 1 second time over Glaive. A little bit of a rough bounce, but pretty good speed going into the chicane. Ooh, that's not very good speed. Deciding to take the left on the second straightaway. Again, this is probably the better racing line, but that was a horrible bounce. Luckily, the speed boost was there to save Magnum. Plus 0.17 seconds. Actually, this is looking like a very good time by Magnum so far. But the wavy banks continues to kill some runs with a 44-second time going into the long U-turn. Ending it off with a 49.11, taking provisional 4th just over Zix. Next up, for Iron Brotherhood, we have Tartarus. Going in through Section 1, some very fast turns, very good navigational through the turns. Through the first speed boost, minus 0.2 seconds, fastest time through Section 1 we've seen so far. Pretty good recovery from that bounce, could have been disastrous. Going through the second chicane, nothing too crazy. Looking like a pretty good time so far. It's a 25-second time going into the second straightaway, deciding to take the left. having a very good speed line into section 3. Ooh, but that bounce might kill the run for Tartarus. Ending off section 3 with a 42-second time into the long U-turn. Tartarus will end with a 2.39 over the provisional first Glaive. Currently taking 4th, we'll see if anyone can manage to beat Tartarus for the second qualification phase. Next, we have representing for Shadow Hunters, we have Ginsu. This marble, originally a Starry Sky marble in Season 2, helping them win the championship, has now been traded to the Shadow Hunters. Tig gets a minus 0.5 second through the first section. Very impressive. A little bit of a rough bounce through the straightaway, kills some of their speed. Through the second chicane, it's pretty good, I'd say. Nothing too crazy. Going into the second straightaway, however, that will be a 28-second time. Taking the left, again, most marbles who take the left seem to be setting themselves up better. Plus 1.92 seconds through section 2. Going through the wavy banks. Ending it off with likely to be a 44-second time. Ending it off will be a 49.71, taking 8th. A little bit better than Electra, worse than Icon by 0.02 milliseconds. Next up, for Motown Madness, we have Ant, their leader, representing them for the Celestial Crossroads. Going through the first section, nothing too crazy. Plus 1 second over Glaive. Good speed going into the chicane. Some decent bounces. A little bit of rough bounce there, killed some of their speed, but a 27 time going into the second straightaway is pretty good. They deciding to take the left, having good speed going into the U-turn. Finally ending it off on the wavy banks, currently plus 1.74 seconds over Glaive, but this is still completely recoverable with good speed. Coming in with a 45-second time through the U-turn, this is looking like a 10 for Ant. Yep, 10 for Ant with plus 4.9 seconds over Glaive. Glaive, Blink, and Nova have now secured their spots in the second round of qualifications. Finally, the last marble for the day, we have Hair representing the Camo Hiders. Camo Hiders, honestly, I don't think were really on people's radars, but going into the MSFC, they have had some very impressive finishes with some very good top half finishes that no one was expecting. Only 0.49 seconds behind through section 1. Going into the second chicane, pretty good speed. Some pretty good bounces. Oh, but that bounce just killed all of their momentum. Coming to the second straightaway, you want to be looking for a 26-27 time, which Hair does have. Going into the second speed boost, let's see how they navigate the U-turn. Excellently executed. Going through the wavy banks. Some decent speed. This is looking like a 43, which will probably be provisional 5th. Yep. For our second round of qualifications, we have Glaive in first, Blink in second, followed by Nova and Tartarus rounding out our 4th. Glaive takes a horrible bounce through the first turn. It seems that even though the first turns might not be that crazy in the qualification, it might kill your run during the race. Blink with a huge lead currently. Tartarus currently in second, followed by Nova, followed by Glaive in behind. Going through the second straightaway, we can see Blink all the way reaching Sector 3 through the wavy banks. Tartarus with a good speed boost that was crucially needed. Glaive overtaking Nova for third, my bad. And Blink finishes lap 1 with first. Tartarus with a horrible enter into the conveyor belts. That will lose crucial seconds. Nova catches up to Glaive with an excellent enter into the conveyor belt. Glaive going into the first straightaway, 1 sector ahead of everyone else so far. We will be taking a look at the rest of the competitors who will be fighting for those crucial spots during the qualification. Glaive and Nova deciding to take different paths. It seems Glaive has slightly better speed, but Nova has managed to navigate the bounces slightly better. Blink is still one sector ahead, going into the wavy banks now. A pretty good speed. This will be looking like a pole for Blink. The home marble will be taking pole on Celestial Crossroads. Tartarus with some pretty good bounces. We will be seeing Nova and Glaive fight for third. Will Nova overtake Glaive here? It seems unlikely, and Tartarus takes second. Glaive from Moon Melodies takes third, and Nova takes fourth.